Hi, folks. Welcome to Crisco's Corner. Media neglect. FBI refusal to investigate fire bombings of pro-life centers. Yeah. Welcome back, all you thought criminals. Yeah, here's the thing. I thought that progressives and Democrats hated a two-tier justice system. There's been a lot of fire bombings and destructions on pro-life centers. That's of course, the opposite of abortion centers, where they actually take women in. If they want an alternative to an abortion, whether it be adoption, they get prenatal vitamins, doctor care, all the things that they need through the pregnancy. And they're considered evil, and Elizabeth Warren of Massachusetts wants to shut them all down. Let's read on. Over the last few months, there has been over 70, repeat, 70 domestic terror attacks against pro-life centers and organizations by Dracokious leftist terrorists. I'm not familiar with that word. Yet there have been zero arrests by the FBI. Zero. Or as my cousin would say, 0.00 by the FBI or any law enforcement organization. Isn't that interesting? This refusal to do their duty and abdication of protecting innocent Americans has gone unreported by the liberal media, who stand on the same side of the abortion issue as attackers themselves. Doing the job the leftists won't do, Fox News channel's Tucker Carlson highlighted the FBI's inaction on his show Thursday night and spoke with a leader of one of the pro-life centers, trying to get justice for the attack against them. The FBI is ignoring violence committed against people who didn't vote for Joe Biden. That's true. Criminals firebombed the pro-life pregnancy center in Buffalo, a place called Compass Care Pregnancy Services. People who did this, the bombers have not yet been caught. Why? Because the FBI has not even bothered to investigate a firebombing. Now, local police and the feds took surveillance footage from the center, but they didn't do anything with it. And they didn't give it back to the center. The center is suing to get it back. Then the attorney for the local police told the crisis center that they can't have their own tapes back because those tapes might inspire right-wing violence. Are you following the logic here? You can't run a country like this. It's totally unacceptable. Let's listen to part of it.
The FBI is all but ignoring violence committed against people who don't vote for Joe Biden. In June, criminals firebombed a pro-life pregnancy center in Buffalo, a place called Compass Care Pregnancy Services. The people who did this, the bombers, have not been caught. Why? Because the FBI has not even bothered to investigate a firebombing. Now, local police and the feds took surveillance footage from the center, but they didn't do anything with it. But they didn't give it back to the center. The center is suing to get it back. Then the attorney for the local police told the Crisis Pregnancy Center they can't have their own tapes back because those tapes might inspire right-wing violence. Are you following the logic here? It's completely insane. It's utterly politicized law enforcement. It's the deepest level of corruption. It's totally unacceptable. You can't.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely. The FBI has gone from abdicating their duty to provide equal justice under the law to pro-life people like us to downright attacking us, said the Reverend Hardin. There's a reverend that had 7 kids, and there was a kind of a shoving match at one of the abortion centers a year ago, and even the locals said, listen, there's nothing here. This is a nothing burger. No charges were filed. But yet almost 20-plus FBI officers, fully armed, raided this guy's home at 7 o'clock in the morning, his wife and his 7 kids, pointed guns at all of them, and took him out in handcuffs under a federal law that says he was obstructing an abortion clinic, which he wasn't. Unbelievable. He went on to describe how they've been left with no choice but to sue the FBI and the local police department to get their surveillance video of the attack back because the authorities claim the center is the real danger to the public. In fact, the town attorney representing the police department went as far as to say that to characterize pro-life people supporting us as AK-47 toting people go around bombing and killing people, they're vilifying us. As if it was the case with the black churches or abortion clinics getting attacked and investigators do nothing, the media would be all over it and causing congressional oversight. Yep. Jane's Revenge is an abortion terrorist group. The pro-abortion terrorist group that has taken responsibility for these attacks, and yet they get a pass. And I say, look, Jane's Revenge is the Democrats' new KKK, and the new cross in the front yard is burning down pregnancy centers. That's all true. Some might argue that it took time to put together a case and track the predators down. For them, Hardin said, it's naive to think that the largest law enforcement agency on the globe with the best forensic technology known to man doesn't know not a single person who was engaged in these attacks. That's right, because you're on the wrong side of the issue. You're trying to prevent abortions, trying to help pregnant women through their pregnancy so they don't abort, whether they give it up for adoption or they have medical care, prenatal vitamins, all the things you need to do during your pregnancy. They will help with, especially young girls that feel left out. They don't know what to do. They're afraid. And if they don't feel comfortable in these pro-life centers, they just get off the chair and leave and go to a Planned Parenthood so they can have an abortion. That is still their right. There are people in this country that think the Supreme Court ruling on Dobbs versus Mississippi, which basically overturned Roe v. Wade, stopped abortions in the U.S. That's a lie. They only brought it to the states. I live in upstate New York, and there are young women all over in this area that think that abortion was outlawed. Absolutely clueless, totally clueless. Abortion rights and abortion law has not changed one iota in the state of New York or a vast majority of states in this country. So there you have it. You try to stop abortions. You try to preach your Christian religion and some of its values to younger women. You get raided by the FBI. And if something happens to you, God forbid, luckily nobody was hurt. These places were firebombed and destroyed, several of them. You get zero help. But if that was a Planned Parenthood, I mean, remember there was like 20-something FBI agents showed up with that NASCAR guy because they said there was a noose hung on the garage door. It ended up being just a holder to open and close the door. Remember that one? They had time for that, but yet they don't have time for this. Remember this when you vote this November. Do not forget. And then the people you vote for, if they are elected, hold their feet to the fire every day, call their office if you have to. It is your right to participate. It's participatory government. We need to start participating. Until the next time, goodbye and good luck.